Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Before we go to the editorial analysis, let us have a look at today's quote. Effort is the best indicator of interest. Whether you're interested or not in a particular activity, how do we know that? We can judge based on your effort. Based on your effort. To what extent you put in efforts, that indicates to what extent you're interested. And based on the word interest, I usually tell students if you ask the question, who is the best teacher? My answer, interest is the best teacher. When you're interested in something, you feel like spending more time, put in extra effort, and that effort indicates to what extent you're interested in a particular activity. So do remember to have the real interest, that matters a lot. So, what is this editorial about? A familiar topic. It's all about the new variant, Omicron or Omicron, and how to prevent it. Travel ban is not the solution. The editorial takes a particular stand. Categorically, clearly, it says travel ban against a few countries is not the solution. And the editorial says, in a way, it is a hasty or rash decision, and we should focus on COVID appropriate behavior. That means wearing a mask, maintaining social distance, and also using properly ventilated places. And today you're going to work on errors, fillers, phrase replacement, idioms, and editorial words. There are five exercises. But before we go to the analysis, let's have a look at the words from today's editorial. Is the video on? Please answer the question. What is the first word? Shrouded. Usually it takes the word mystery, shrouded in mystery. So what does it mean? Cover or envelope so as to conceal from you, from view. Conceal means hide. No one has answered whether it is on or not on. Is the video on? Yes, fine. So shrouded, do remember the combination. Thank you. It takes the word mystery, shrouded in mystery. I'm sorry, I'm worried about streaming part. So you guys have given the responded. Thank you. So shrouded, important word. Cover or envelope so as to conceal from view. Conceal. You all know the word hide. Outbreak. There is one phrasal verb, break out. A fire break broke out, or a disease broke out, clashes broke out. But here, outbreak, it is used as a noun. Outbreak goes with a sudden occurrence of something unwelcome. Usually, it goes with a disease in this context, obviously. It also goes with a war, outbreak of disease. Surveillance, we have got many a time. Close observation, especially of a suspected spy or criminal. Someone tries to observe the spy or criminal. Close observation, we use the word surveillance. Today we have the surveillance cameras, you all know that. And strain. Strain could be a verb, it could be a noun. As a verb, you all know. And as a noun also, everyday English, a lot of strain because of the workload. I got strained. But here strain has a different connotation altogether. A particular type of or particular type or quality. It goes with the virus, a different strain means a different variety, a different type. Flag, you all know as a noun, the national flag, but here it is a verb. As a verb, it has a different connotation. So, what does it mean? Flag something, mark an item for attention or treatment in a specified way. Something is important, you flag it, means you have to consider and you have to pay attention to that, do something about it. Underscore, uh, we have got many a time. Emphasize the importance of something. Underscore means what? Emphasize the importance of something. Diligent, I use regularly, quite often, in fact. Diligent student. So, what exactly? That's true, especially Hyderabad, a lot of CCTV cameras. Having or showing care and conscientiousness in one's work or duties. Here, being meticulous, I also use the word meticulous, having or showing care, and focusing on the minutest details in one's work or duties. Another meaning, industrious. So, what is the meaning of the word industrious? Hardworking. Incongruous, an important word from bank exams point of view. Not in harmony. Something is not in harmony, we use the word incongruous. Counterproductive, we have got many a time. Having the opposite of the desired effect. You do something expecting a particular result, but you get the opposite result, then we say it is going to be counterproductive. And there's another word, boomerang. Boomerang means what? Boomerang can be a noun, boomerang can be a verb. As a noun, it has a different connotation altogether. And as a verb, it means you expect something like positive result, but you get negative result, then we use the word, we say it boomeranged. A rash, you all know the typical combination, a rash driving, but here a rash decision, acting or done without careful consideration of the possible consequences, impetuous. So, without thinking of the consequences, you take a decision hastily, then we use the word rash. Rash also goes with driving, rash driving, very dangerous. Promptly, a familiar word with little or no delay, immediately, prompt reply, a typical combination. That's right. Implications, another important word, the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated. Explicit, direct. What is opposite of explicit? Implicit. I use these two words when I talk about how to read the passage and how to answer the questions. Or you want the parts of speech to be mentioned. Shrouded, shrouded, it's a verb. And outbreak is a noun. I think a few words I've said. Surveillance is a noun. Strain can be a verb, can be a noun. Flag can be a noun, can be a verb. Underscore is a verb, it can also be a noun. Diligent, adjective. And incongruous situation, again adjective. Counterproductive, noun. It is going to be, it can be adjective as well, and it can be boomerang, can be a noun, can be a verb. A rash driving, adjective. I'm giving the combinations as well. From the combination you should be able to make out the part of speech. Still, I don't mind, next tomorrow perhaps, tomorrow I doubt the session, but Monday, from Monday, I'm going to get mention the part of speech that may help you guys. Implications, obviously noun. And indiscriminate cutting down of trees or indiscriminate killing, typical combinations. That means you have to understand it's an adjective. Done at random or without careful judgment, without thinking, without proper judgment, you do something indiscriminately, adverbial form. Surge, we have got so many times, I'm sure you all know. One meaning, a sudden, powerful forward movement or upward movement. It goes with a group of people, it goes with tides, water bodies, and surge is a regular verb. It takes a letter D. Fiasco means complete failure. Oh, all the best. Oh, you guys have an exam tomorrow. I wish all those who are going to take the exam tomorrow all the best. Do well. Shift, second shift. Very good. Adherence. We have got this many a time. Adhere to, stick to. Attachment or commitment to a person, cause, or belief. And do remember, don't panic if you come across a tough paper. If it is tough for you, it is tough for everyone. With that mindset, you have to look at the question and answer. Give your best. Now, let us go to the editorial. Limited gains. You can easily make out limited, not to a great extent, limited gains, benefits, or profits. In this context of benefits, perhaps it talks about a travel ban. So you can't make out from these two words what exactly the editorial wants to convey. But if you read the next sentence, you get a clear picture of what exactly the editorial wants to convey. Increased vaccination, COVID appropriate behavior can cut the Omicron risk. Omicron, either way it is correct. I will stick to Omicron risk. So the main idea It is not, it talks about, criticizes rather, and uses the word rash decision. It is not a good idea to go in for ban against a travel ban against a few countries. And here, there's nothing like mains level editorial on Monday onwards. What do you mean by mains level editorial? Editorial is editorial. We cannot talk in terms of prelims level or mains level. Perhaps I understand you mean to say practice questions based on exam topics. You want those questions to be from mains point of view. That's what I understand. But when it comes to editorial, there is nothing like uh, prelims editorial or mains level editorial. Editorial is editorial. That's what I understand. Just confirm that. Huh. So the no specific. So because it is specific, the Omicron risk. So it talks about, it takes a particular stand. What is it? I understand your passion, your interest, your enthusiasm, what exactly you want to convey. That's what reading between the lines, that's what I understand. It is not, the solution is not travel ban against some countries, and categorically the editorial takes a particular stand and uses the word rash, in fact, rash decision. So editorial says how to cut the risk of the new variant Omicron, increased vaccination, one thing, COVID appropriate behavior, another thing, can cut the Omicron risk. There's one helping verb, can. This helping verb has got four functions. One, it is used to express an informal request. Second, informal permission. Third, one's ability. And fourth, it is used to express a possibility based on someone's ability. You have to recollect all the functions. So, increased vaccination, COVID appropriate behavior can cut the Omicron risk. Clearly, it is not the travel ban, can cut. And when it comes to, it talks about the past and it talks about the present. It all started from China. If China was severely criticized for keeping the SARS-CoV-2 outbreak that began in November 2019 shrouded in secrecy and for sharing the genetic sequence on a public database only on January 12, 2020, countries that are transparent and quick in sharing vital information are not rewarded but are punished. It starts taking this particular stand. What is it? It says ban against a Botswana, travel ban against Botswana and to Botswana and South Africa. That is something like uh, they have been transparent. They reported immediately. Instead of being rewarded, they are being punished. That is a stand taken by the editorial. So it provides, it shows a contrasting situation, paradoxical situation. When this outbreak, SARS-CoV-2 outbreak, it began in November and shrouded in secrecy, shrouded, an important word. Outbreak already have given a sudden occurrence of something unwelcome, something bad, usually war or a disease, and shrouded, covered or enveloped so as to conceal from view, hide something in a nutshell, and usually takes a secrecy, mystery, shrouded in secrecy. China did not reveal. It happened in November. It made it public, disclosed or revealed only in 2020, on January 12, 2020, though it happened in the month of November. November, December, Jan, 3 months, it was shrouded in secrecy. On the other hand, if you take countries like Botswana and South Africa, they reported immediately. They have been transparent. Here, transparent means open, did not hide anything, and quick in sharing vital information. Vital, important. They are not rewarded but are punished. So this sentence looks like a paragraph. What does it talk about? It talks about, on the one hand, someone tried to hide something. They were not punished. They were not criticized, but to some extent, definitely criticized, but not punished. On the other hand, here, the countries which have been transparent and quick in reporting vital information or sharing vital information, they are not rewarded but are punished. Why does the editorial use the expression punished? It talks about that now. After the first infection by a new variant, it has 32 mutations in the spike protein alone. So mutations already have got the word mutation means what? Change at the genetic level. 32 mutations in the spike protein alone. It talks about the new variant. After the first infection by a new variant, and this new variant has 32 mutations in the spike protein alone, was confirmed from a specimen collected on November 9th. Botswana and South Africa diligently posted its genetic sequence on the public database on November 23rd. November 9th, November 23rd. Same month, they made it public. They found a new variant and it has 32 mutations. And this specimen was collected on November 9th. And on November 23rd, these two countries, Botswana and South Africa, diligently, one important word, diligent means what? Diligently, adverb. Diligent, having or showing care and conscientiousness in one's work or duties, means being meticulous and being focused, posted its genetic sequence on the public database on November 23rd. So, here, a lengthy sentence. What is the main idea here? The subject. After the first infection by a new variant, but this is adding information. After the first infection by a new variant was confirmed after the first infection was confirmed. Which tense is that? Past tense. From a specimen collected on November 9th. So many phrases have been used. Diligently posted. Again, it is in these two countries. Diligently posted, past tense. It's genetic. It's a possessive pronoun. Then you have to recollect possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe when we talk about possession. That you have to recollect. Its genetic sequence on the public database on November 23rd. In a way, it has to be appreciated. Instead, the travel bans now imposed on South Africa and a few other African countries are not only incongruous but can actually be counterproductive. Now, they reported immediately. That's what the editorial says, and it's a fact. No one can deny. Instead of rewarding them, instead, here the word is used to show the contrast. You can also use in spite of rewarding them. You cannot use despite. Instead is a better word. Instead of rewarding them, the travel bans now imposed on South Africa and a few other African countries are not only incongruous, means not in harmony, but can actually be counterproductive, can bring in negative results. That's what it talks about. The travel bans, that is actual subject, now imposed, now it talks about the time factor. The travel bans imposed, here travel bans imposed, the travel bans that were imposed, that were understood. It is in passive voice on South Africa and a few other African countries are not only, the travel bans are not only, see from here to here, all these are just to add more information. What is the main, what is the subject instead of, but he hasn't mentioned, that's a very good question, Ramesh. Instead of rewarding, then you have to mention of. Instead, it's understood. Here, instead means what? Instead of rewarding, that is one idea. Instead of getting a positive result, it is likely to be counterproductive. That means we are going to get a negative result. So the travel bans are not only incongruous, here it is in present tense, incongruous, not in harmony, but can actually, contrasting word, can actually be counterproductive. They can be, again, the helping verb can, counterproductive. You expect a positive result, you get a negative result, then we use the word counterproductive. Such rash decisions, this is what I've been saying. The editorial takes a particular stand. It has gone to the extent of using the word rash, such rash decisions. That is a bit rash and harsh to use that word. Usually, the word rash goes with the driving, rash driving. But what exactly does it mean in this context? Acting or done without careful consideration of the possible consequences, impetuous, trying to respond immediately, spontaneously, without thinking. Such rash decisions disincentivize countries from promptly reporting. Now you report, you do something promptly, immediately, and instead of getting a reward, you're punished. Next time, what will you do? There is a saying in English, what is it? Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. So you don't try to respond immediately. Next time, you don't report promptly, and you will try to be a little callous, and you try to shun or avoid such rash decisions. So it is counterproductive. It is going to make a negative impact. Such rash decisions disincentivize countries from promptly reporting and sharing vital data. They will not report promptly, they will not share the data, vital data, with huge public health implications. This is an important word. Implications means what? The consequences, in a way. In this context, the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated, it is not explicit, it is not clear, it is implied, it is implicit. And generally, the word implications, what are the implications of the policy? What are the implications of the decision? Means what is going to happen and what are the consequences? Here it talks about public health implications, particularly during the pandemic, obviously. The demonstration by Botswana and South Africa of their capability to quickly detect new variants through superior surveillance via genomic sequencing needs to be rewarded. The same idea being reiterated through enhanced vaccine access to protect Africa and cut the risk of new variants. So editorial says the demonstrate to show that demonstration by two countries, African countries, Botswana and South Africa, of their capability or of their ability to quickly detect new variants through superior surveillance. They have got something. What is that? Superior surveillance via genomic sequencing. This particular capability needs to be rewarded. Needs to be rewarded. It is in passive voice, present tense. We need to reward something, something needs to be rewarded, passive voice, present tense. How to reward? Through enhanced vaccine access to protect Africa and cut the risk of new variants. Two things. One is enhanced vaccine access to protect Africa. They have to provide more vaccines, one thing. And that way, what happens? They can cut the risk of new variants. On November 30th, now it talks about what has been going on in Europe. The focus is on Europe. On November 30th, the Netherlands, again, you have to recollect, we have got, I think we got yesterday, the definite article there before some countries. You have to recollect the entire list. The Netherlands reported that samples collected on November 19th and 23rd, before South Africa announced its findings and the travel bans went into effect, were of the Omicron variant. Look at that. Here, Botswana and South Africa, they reported immediately, promptly. On the other hand, if you take European countries, in this context, the Netherlands, they collected the samples on November 19th and 23rd, before South Africa announced its findings, and the travel bans went into effect, were of the Omicron variant. So they should have disclosed, but they did not disclose. That's what it talks about. While it is unclear whether these people had also visited southern Africa, 14 of the 61 passengers returning from South Africa on November 26 and who tested positive for Omicron showed different strains. Not very sure whether these people had also visited southern Africa, but 14 of the 61 passengers returning from South Africa on November 26th and who tested positive for Omicron showed different strains. So, different strains, what does it mean? This suggests that the people were very probably infected independently from different sources in different locations. Need not be from South Africa, need not be from Botswana, because people very probably infected independently from different sources and in different locations. Now he talks about other European countries. Belgium and Germany too have reported the presence of the variant well before South Africa flagged it. Belgium and Germany too have reported present perfect tense, the presence of the variant. Presence here, noun, of the variant, a phrase, well before an important expression. South Africa flagged it. There is one important word. Strain already have told the meaning, a particular type. In this context, a particular type of virus, and flag as a noun, different meaning, as a verb, a different meaning. Flag something, mark an item for attention or treatment in a specified way. Even if the Omicron variant did not emerge in Europe, the presence of the variant before South Africa notified it and the travel ban strongly suggests that the variant was already spreading in some European countries. So this talks about there's no confirmation. We cannot say with a lot of confidence or conviction it did not emerge in Europe. Even if the Omicron variant did not emerge in Europe, the presence of the variant before South Africa notified it and the travel ban strongly suggests that the variant was already spreading in some European countries. It was there in European countries. It was spreading. It also reflects the relatively poor surveillance in place there, that means in Europe, when compared with the two African countries. It was spreading, but they did not notify. And what is the reason for that? Poor surveillance in place in Europe when compared with the two African countries. This underscore to emphasize something. The need to have systems in place, an important expression, that delay or reduce the spread of the new variant through testing prior to or upon arrival or the application of quarantine as recommended by World Health Organization. So this talks about this situation emphasizes something. What does it emphasize? The need to have systems in place, an important expression. And what are these systems and why should we have systems in place? These systems, if the systems are in place, they delay or reduce the spread of the new variant. And how can we do that? Through testing prior to. This is an important expression. Already you have learned the rule compared to adjectives like superior, inferior, senior, junior, preferable, prior. All these take the preposition to, not the word than. Prior to, or upon arrival or the application of quarantine as recommended by World Health Organization. All these things have to be followed to control, to contain the risk or the spread. An indiscriminate travel ban. Again, the editorial in favor of South Africa and Botswana and against the decision that is a travel ban. An indiscriminate travel ban, indiscriminate, done at random without careful judgment. Usually it goes with killing people. Many people were killed indiscriminately or attacked indiscriminately. So here it goes with the decision making. An indiscriminate travel ban is no solution. The whole thing is a subject. An indiscriminate travel ban, it's a noun phrase, is no solution. Generally, we say it is not a solution. You can also say no solution. It is in present tense. Several countries, including India, have already reported cases of Omicron variant said to pose a very high global risk. So it talks about what exactly other countries they think, what stand other countries have taken. Several countries, including India, have already reported cases, again in present perfect, of the Omicron variant said to pose a very high global risk. Though disease severity in different categories of people still remains unclear. It is a new variant, so we don't have a clear picture. The disease severity, though contrasting word, disease severity in different categories of people in different categories, a phrase of people, another phrase, still an important word. How is it important? I will tell. Remains unclear, not clear, vague, obscure. Preliminary evidence suggests that the new variant increases the risk of reinfection and possesses a possible transmission advantage as seen in the surge in Omicron cases in South Africa. Though something, the picture is not completely clear, something is suggested. Preliminary evidence suggests that the new variant increases the risk of reinfection. There's a possibility of reinfection and possesses a possible transmission advantage. That means it spreads very fast. Possible transmission advantage, as seen in the surge. Surge we have got many a time, sudden increase, as especially in this context. I've done editorials related to COVID many a time, and every time they have been using the word surge in the number of cases, means sudden increase exactly. Omicron cases in South Africa. The word still is important because generally we contrast still and yet. What is the difference? Still goes with affirmative sentences, yet goes with negative and negative interrogative sentences. That you have to recollect and consolidate. It is time. I'm really surprised. You guys have already learned whenever you use a clause, it is time, it is high time, the verb should be in past. But look at this sentence. It is time India increases. But exam point of view, is it right or wrong? I want you guys to respond. It is time India increased the pace of vaccination, the speed of vaccination, and has better adherence to COVID appropriate behavior to cut the risk. Adherence means sticking to, attachment or commitment to a person, cause, or belief. So, how does the editorial conclude? Huh. Coming to India, what is it supposed to do? It is time. Do remember, very good. I appreciate your response. I would like to spend a minute over here. Sometimes students ask, Sir, we have seen this in the Hindu paper, we have seen that, but what you say is quite opposite. So, whom to trust, the master or the Hindu paper? Obviously, the answer is the Hindu paper. Master is nothing in front of the Hindu paper. But jokes apart, you have to trust the master, you have to go with the master. Exam point of view, what is the reason? Then you may wonder, you may ask the question, Sir, how come the Hindu? The Hindu uses family members. Exam point of view, not correct. We have to say members of the family. And so many, the Hindu uses offsprings, not correct. Offspring, aircrafts, not correct. Aircraft. Then why does it do that? The languages are dynamic, they always change. So there is something called current English or modern English. Current English or modern English. Because languages are dynamic. I would like to reiterate, I have said many a time, exam point of view, we consider only one thing. What is it? Standard British English. We don't consider three things. What are the three things? One is American English, we don't consider. Second, conversational English, we don't consider. And third, current English or modern English, we don't consider. We consider standard British English. So when it comes to standard British English, when you use a clause, either it is time or it is high time, then the verb should be in the past. Exam point of view, it should be. It is time India increased. I hope you guys got it. So it is time India increased the pace. Pace means speed of vaccination and has better adherence. Again, present tense talks about position, adherence, attachment, or sticking to something to COVID appropriate behavior. I think yesterday, Telangana government they came out with a statement. What is it? Now, wearing a mask has been made mandatory, and if you don't wear a mask in public places, the fine is 1,000 rupees. Do you guys know that? Please respond. So, COVID appropriate behavior, three things are very important to cut the risk. One is wearing a mask, second is maintaining social distance, 6 feet, and third is using properly ventilated places. That's all about the editorial. A familiar editorial, a familiar turf. So many words are familiar and the context is familiar. Still, I have brought this. The reason being there's every possibility for you guys to get anything related to and everything related to COVID 19, the most important topic right now. And it is going to be Bumrah space right. Thank you very much. So important. Cut the risk, cut the risk, cut the expenses, cut the risk. In secrecy, something is done in secrecy. Please focus. In my opinion, no doubt Editorial words are important, indispensable. More than that, you get the competitive edge. A lot of people learn the words from the Hindu paper, but where do you get the competitive edge? This slide, this particular slide is extremely useful. And if you get all these, then you have the competitive edge. Obviously, we have done so many times in secrecy. Something is done in secrecy. Quick in sharing, slow in sharing, quick in doing, quick in implementing. Try to form your own patterns. That helps in the long run. The first infection, again, before the ordinal numbers, first to second, third, we have to use a definite article, the, that you have to recollect. Nothing wrong in recollecting and consolidating. Don't impose your ideas on others. Conversation English, we say. Don't impose the restrictions on someone or something. So the word impose, it goes with the rules, regulations, ideas. It takes a preposition on. A few other, quickly you have to recollect. A few, a little. Few, a few, the few. A little, a little, the little. Few goes with the number, little goes with the quantity. Few, hardly anything, almost nothing, negative connotation. A few, at least some, and the few, whatever is there, or something specific. Can be counterproductive. It can be counterproductive. Something can be counterproductive. And you have to recollect the word boomerang. Boomerang, as a noun, it looks like this, and it works invented by Australian Aboriginals or indigenous people. It works on the principles of aerodynamics, and it is used for hunting. Imagine there's a hunter, inverted V shape. He throws, it goes and it has to hit the target, some animal. If it does not hit the target, then it comes back to the person who throws. And it works on the principles of aerodynamics. That is really surprising. A rash decision, a typical combination rash driving, but the editorial has gone to the extent of using the word rash regarding travel ban, a rash decision without thinking and being quick without any judgment, more impulsive, spontaneous, based on whims and fancies. All these you have to recollect. Promptly reporting, prompt reply, a typical expression. Demonstrate, I use regularly when it comes to para jumbles. Demonstrative pronouns or demonstrative adjectives are very important. Any sentence with a demonstrative pronoun or a demonstrative adjective cannot be the first sentence. There are four in number: this, these, and that, those. These four come under demonstrative pronouns. So demonstration by someone, by something. Superior, then you have to recollect all the comparative adjectives: anterior, posterior, superior, inferior, senior, junior, preferable, prior, elder, and the verb prefer. They all take the preposition to, not than. Immediately you have to recollect. Needs to be rewarded. We need to reward something. Something needs to be rewarded. It is in passive voice present tense. This has been given many exams, access to. And when I talk about the benefits of the Hindu paper, reading the Hindu paper, I use this example. When you read the newspaper, what happens? You're exposed to so many combinations, so many phrases. In the exam, invariably, they touch the same expressions, the same phrases, idioms, phrasal verbs. And when you see a blank, fillers, axis, preposition, before you go to the options, you know the preposition has to be access to. And the combinations: access to power, access to authority, access to resources, access to information. All these combinations you will be able to recollect within no time. Its findings: possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe, that you have to recollect. Went into effect, another important expression: go into effect, went into effect. Not affect, effect. Even that you have to recollect. Affect is a verb, effect is a noun. The presence of someone, the presence of something. The presence of someone, the presence of something. Spreading in Africa, spreading in Europe, spreading in India. You can mention the place. For surveillance, surveillance goes with CCTV footage and close observation, usually observing a spy or a suspect. Now, everyone is being observed. According to one particular study, I think Hyderabad has a maximum number of CCTV cameras. Hyderabad has a dubious distinction of being in the second position in the entire world. City with maximum number of CC TV CCTV footage cameras have systems in place. An important expression. You should have systems in place, then things go smoothly. Prior to, another important expression you can't afford to miss. Indiscriminate killing, indiscriminate beating, indiscriminate something, travel ban. The whole thing is about a travel ban, and editorial says it is not a good idea, it's a rash decision. Pose a high risk, pose no risk, pose a high risk. Surge in the number of cases. We have been getting this surge in the number of cases. Surge goes with increase, sudden forward movement or upward movement. And usually it goes with a group of people. Dubious means doubtful, dubious distinction, doubtful. And that's a standard expression, dubious distinction. Surge in. It is time, very important. They have given in so many competitive exams. Now let us go to comprehension again, which this is one thing which gives you the competitive edge. I don't know how many of you are writing about the editorial and writing answers to these questions, but do remember there is a saying in English. What is it? A philosopher has been asked, "Sir, what is common sense?" He gave a statement. The most uncommon thing in this world is common sense. So, why this quote in this context? It is common sense. If you read the Hindu paper, the editorials and the headlines, you have the competitive edge and you get selected. Not one job, you get two or three jobs. This is common sense. But people don't read. In spite of that, oh, whose birthday is this? Many happy returns of the day. Wish you a very happy birthday. Enjoy the day, Suresh. Good. Today is your day. So try to get the competitive edge. Then you may ask, sir, if that is the case, why don't candidates read the Hindu paper? It is not easy. Initially, if you try to read based on my suggestion or advice, you may get frustrated, irritated, and you may curse the master also. What is this? He told us to read the Hindu paper. It is very difficult to understand, boring. But do remember, all things are difficult before they are easy. Initially, you may find it boring and difficult to understand, but after some time it becomes easy. And that's the reason why I have started editorial analysis to make it easy for you guys. So, what can cut Omicron risk? COVID appropriate behavior like social distancing, wearing a mask, and properly ventilated places. In the context of the editorial, what can actually be counterproductive? Keyword, navigate, locate, and get the answer. What needs to be rewarded through enhanced vaccine access? What strongly suggests that the variant was already spreading in some European countries? Something suggests. What suggests that the variant was already spreading? Easy to answer. Already over, 24th November, last month. Now let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. Today the questions are not that easy. Some of them, and a few of them, many of them are easy rather. I have brought error location, fillers, double fillers, and also phrase replacement. Then we have idioms. So try to respond quickly. In this state, a mere 5% of the food being consumed. Thank you very much, Prasads. Thank you. In this state, a mere 5% of the food being consumed is grown locally compared to 81% in the other states. Thank you very much. Who is this? Belated birthday wishes. That's good. Nice of you. Satish Shankar. Thank you very much. Good morning, sir. Is it cyclone impact tomorrow exam? I don't know, Shiva. I'm not the right person to talk about that. But if it is going to be very severe, they may take a decision, they may take a call. But don't think of that. Go prepared. Don't stop your preparation and be mentally prepared to take the exam. Very good. You guys have got it right. In this state, a phrase, nothing wrong. A mere 5%, again, a phrase, nothing wrong. Of the food, a phrase, nothing wrong. Being consumed, being cannot be used here. Being consumed, what is the correct word? This question is based on word forms. In this state, a mere 5% of the food that is being consumed, that is understood, being consumed, that means it is in present continuous passive voice. Being consumed is grown locally. Nothing wrong. This is a verb. Is grown locally compared to 81% in other states. In the other states, a phrase. So, what is this question about? It is about word forms. Is being. Why not? Merely. Nothing wrong with that word. Who is Panindra? Absolutely no problem. After years of economic stagnation, stagnation means no growth, and questionable lending, lend opposite borrow. Bad loans at Italian banks have piled up. An easy question. In my opinion, a silly question, but these are questions from previous year's papers. Mind you guys, just to give you an idea how what the standards are. After years of economic stagnation, an important expression, stagnation, no growth, stagnated, and questionable lending, lending loans obviously questionable means cannot be justified. Bad loans at Italian banks have piled up, obviously piled up, have. Which tense is this? Present perfect tense. Any perfect tense takes the main verb is in past participle form. An easy one reading you should be able to make out. The main reason for Britain's success at the Olympics was the efficient allocation of fund toward equipment, facilities, and training for athletes. Constant, no growth. Yes, Mohammed. Stagnation. It goes with growth, progress, and also water, stagnated water. Stagnated water, dangerous. Mosquitoes breed and a lot of diseases. We come across waterborne diseases. Nothing wrong with toward. Towards, both are correct. I thought you guys would focus on that. No, 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 no. Nothing wrong with the word toward. Oh, you guys have the same wavelength. Nothing wrong with that. Here, fund is not correct. Allocation of funds. We have to use the noun in the plural form. Allocation of funds. There is an error, Ramesh. What is it? Fund is not correct. Funds is correct. Even this question is based on word forms. And nothing wrong with toward. Towards, both are correct. Both mean the same. But the word fund cannot be used. If you read the newspapers, generally they use this allocation of funds towards something. Over 30 years ago, Chile created a pension system in which workers had to save for their own retirement by paying 10% of its earnings into individual accounts. This is also an easy question, should not be a problem to spot the error. Very good. Who is this? Ramesh is the first one. The context, the sentence talks about workers. Workers had to save for their own retirement. Already, plural pronoun has been used because workers. By paying 10% of its is not correct, their earnings. Because we are talking about workers. So what is this about? One thing, it talks about subject of the clause and pronoun, possessive pronoun agreement. Usually people talk about subject verb agreement. That is regular. But sometimes in the exam, they ask questions based on subject pronoun agreement, object pronoun agreement. This is not easy. Important, not easy. But you guys got it right. Very good. The cement industry is one of the world's most polluting industries, and it accounts 5% of man-made carbon dioxide emissions each year. This is an easy one, should not be a problem. Itzy is not correct. If you are talking about possession, do remember we don't use the apostrophe with possessive pronouns, but sometimes you may come across it apostrophe s. It is a short form of it is or it has. There is an error. The sentence is not correct. The cement industry subject is verb. One of the world's most polluting industries, nothing wrong. The phrase, and it accounts, one thing, one word is missing, accounts for. Accounts 5% is not correct. Accounts for 5%. Accounts for the lion's share. Accounts for 5%. Its contribution 5%. Nothing wrong with where is this? Each year, nothing wrong with that. I have already given where is the error? Account for. That's an important one. Question is based on prepositional combination. Account for. Now you have 5 questions, fillers. Exactly, Yakub, you're there. So you're catching the expressions. I've just used lion's share, major share. That's right. 4 out of 5, that's good, Surya John. That's wonderful. Nagamaleshwari. Nagamaleshwari, I think yesterday you said something like Unacademy subscription, bank stream, but I belong to SSC stream, colossal, gigantic, colossal, huge, enormous, mammoth like. A rift on a gigantic ice shell has grown more rapidly in the past few months than it has over the past 5 years, and the consequences could be disastrous, negative. Rapidly over seems right, slowly it has from not correct, fast has grown more fast, and in the past, again here, rapidly is a better word, over the past 5 years, better word. Don't consider sluggish. Sluggish means what? Very slow. We also use the word, you have to recollect, lethargic. Lethargic means very slow, sluggish, like a snail. Not correct. Briskly, it goes with a walk and business. Brisk walk, brisk business. So not relevant here. What is the answer? Answer is the first option. Very good. You guys got it right. Go to the second one. Mammoth, exactly. Contrary to the usual of air travel, wherein July is a lean month, means no business slump. This year's air travel data presents a. This is very lazy. Not only lazy, very lazy. Shushti. Brisk walk, brisk business. Very good. So what is the answer? Contrary to the usual style. No, no, we cannot use the word style here. A similar, contrary. Then you cannot use the word similar. Contextual awareness is very important when it comes to fillers. Trend of air travel. Contrary to the usual trend of air travel, this year's air travel data presents a different picture, easy to make out. Pattern you can use, but poor picture not correct. Statistic not correct grammatically. And fad of air travel, drastic picture not at all relevant. Drastic, different, drastic change, completely talks about the degree. And fad means short lived fashion, short lived fashion. A particular style becomes fashion short for a short period. We use the word fad. Now go to the third question based on double fillers. The new material, when incorporated, windows or sunroofs, can the incoming heat and light from the sun, thereby cutting electricity costs. Incorporated, if you know the prepositional combination, then you get the answer. Another meaning, Yaku. Generally, fad goes with the fashion industry. Why are we not able to download? There's a reason behind Govindu. You can download very soon. Here, incorporate something in something else. Obviously, if you know that combination, you save your time. Incorporated at not correct, incorporated to not correct, for not correct, of not correct. Based on your prepositional combination, incorporated in and can control the incoming heat. Answer is the third option. 1 second, you can get the answer. Initially preferred by many as a winter is also an easy one. No, no, incorporate takes the preposition in. It also takes into. Initially preferred by many as a winter velvet, soft one, soft cloth, has over the years assumed great versatility. Versatile, you can use in different areas, one meaning, and versatile actor can play different roles, another meaning, can now be worn the year, along the year, across the year, for the year, out the year. If you know throughout the year, a standard expression, and also it's a fabric, you can easily make out based on prepositional combination and a standard phrase. What is a standard phrase over here? Throughout the year. Then answer is you don't have to waste a lot of time. A few seconds, you get the answer. That's why I say when you read the newspapers, you come across all these expressions throughout the year. And before you go to the options, you know what exactly the answer is. Recently, the local municipal corporation of the city has made the of yoga mandatory, compulsory in all the schools that come. Its purview. That's wonderful, Yakub. I know. I know. You have become very good at English, especially vocabulary, grammar. You have to focus on other areas. I know for sure you are very good at English. Those who have been attending regularly, they are good at English, no second thoughts. But bank exam does not mean only English. Any competitive exam, you have English, you have quant, you have reasoning, you have current affairs. All the four are very important. And this also goes with within the purview can be considered. On is ruled out. For also to some extent for someone's purview. Off is ruled out. Now you have to look at the first one. Made the outcome? No. Made the duty? No. Made the essence? No. Made the custom? Already we have ruled out. So what is the answer? Made the practice under its purview. Easy to answer, but when you come across the word practice, TICE, noun, and TISE, verb, that you have to recollect and consolidate. That is smart learning. Under its purview, yes, standard expression. The drought here, phrase replacement, you have Five questions. Try to answer quickly. Oh, it's already eight. Shall I continue? We still have phrase replacement, five questions. Idioms, they don't take a lot of time, five, because one slide. Editorial words, perhaps that we can skip. 2019, Manoj. Oh, my suggestion, please, if you attend these sessions, at least for 6 months, you don't have to worry about English, but you have to focus simultaneously on quant, reasoning, and current affairs. Very important. The drought preceding winter has played spoil sport with regard to the sowing of winter crops such as wheat, pulses, and oilseeds. Has played preceding winter, before winter, has played. Oh, thank you. So, what is the answer? The drought playing preceding winter, playing grammatically not correct, are being not correct, has been spoilt not correct, because the word spoils sport, it is in red. I know. 98%. Very good. Wonderful, Manoj. To play sport, not correct. Answer is the fifth option. Very good. I appreciate all those students who have chosen the fifth option, no correction. Evidence indicates that businesses are holding off on investment as they await clearly, not correct. As they wait for clarity seems right. Clearly, as they clearly waiting, grammatically not correct, not correct. They waiting, not correct. To wait for clarity, not correct. So what is the answer? Second one. First one is over. Please go to the second one. Evidence indicates that businesses are holding off on investment as a wait for clarity about this country's future relationship with the European Union. Second one is first option. Very good. Over the past 3 years, the government has been urging, over the past 3 years, a phrase, the government has been urging, present perfect continuous, urge means a request, civil servants to open bank accounts to which they pay transport directly. Their pay would have been correct. So this is not correct. Hmm. Await, correct. Await for is not correct. Very good. They are paid, transferred. They're paying to be transferred. They paying can be transferred. It has been paid. It to which it has been paid, transferred. Paid, transferred. No, you cannot use two verbs. Paid, transferred cannot be used. Please look at it very carefully. Answer is the third option. Who is this? Nagamaleshwari has got it right. Other options are not grammatically correct. What is the reason? They paying to be transferred directly. They paying can be transferred. It talks about a possibility to which they paying can be transferred directly. Answer is the third option. A good question. Under pressure, it looks confusing. And here you have to recollect one rule. If paying here, it is not a verb. It is used as a noun, gerund. And before a gerund, if you have to use a pronoun, it should be in the possessive form. A typical example I give students, please excuse my coming late. Exactly, that's right. Scientists at an American university have discovered a fabric that keeps the skin 2 degrees cooler, which will be good for the wearer, serve to reduce, there's no continuity. One idea which will be good for the wearer. Then you have to use the conjunction end. Wearer by serving reduced, not correct. Serve to reduce, not correct. There is no continuity. To serve reduce, grammatically not correct. By serving a reduction. So what is the answer here? And also serve to reduce. No, 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 no. And also more information. 2 degrees cooler, which will be good for the wearer and also serve to reduce energy bills. Second option is the answer. Second option, beyond any doubt. Newly created a vaccine from scratch. An important expression, from scratch. You have to grasp that one. So, what is the answer? Question number 5. Newly created a vaccine from scratch? Definitely not correct. Creating a new vaccine from scratch. Creation from a new vaccine. Energy bill, power bill. Every month you have to pay the power bill. Electricity bill, energy bill, electricity bill. Creating a new vaccine, that's right. Creating a new vaccine from scratch. Easy to answer. All these are ruled out. 1 second. Please answer quickly. The long arm of the law. What does it mean? These are some important idioms. Try to get all the 5 correct. The long arm of the law means what? All the 5 correct. Wonderful. Nagmaleshwari. Very good. No, no, many of you are really good at English. I can make out substantial improvement, phenomenal improvement. But English alone doesn't fetch the job. You have to focus on quant, reasoning, current affairs, all these. The long arm of the law means refers to the far reaching power of the authorities or the police. Answer is fifth option. Unwritten law means an accepted rule in spite of its informality. Answer is the third one. Law unto oneself. Only 8 minutes. First, you try to answer all objective type questions, multiple choice questions, grammar based and vocabulary based. Then you work on cloze test and para jumble quick look. Passage only 8 minutes. Other questions 10 minutes. And 2 minutes just to cross check the answers. 20 minutes. 8 minutes you have to spend 5 minutes to read and 3 minutes to answer. This should be the approach. And don't attempt the passage at the beginning. At the fag end of the session, you attempt the passage, not initially. First, you have to answer all objective type questions, multiple choice questions. Law unto oneself means what? A person, yes, obviously. Answer is the fourth one. Law of the jungle, survival of the strongest or fittest. Above the law means exempt from the laws that apply to everyone. It's already 8 Shall I continue or you want to do this at home? I'm going to provide the PDF. Oh, first shift. All the best to those who are going to take tomorrow. And there's no session tomorrow. Please don't wait for the session. Two reasons. One, tomorrow is Saturday. This week also a lot of work, hectic schedule. And one more reason, many candidates will be taking the exam. Continue. Fine. We'll finish off. Shrouded. Shrouded means what? Cover or envelope. So answer is E. I'm doing that. And usually in suspicion, in mystery, Verb, it's a verb, yes. And flag can be a noun, can be a verb. What is the answer? Mark for attention, H, and this is a verb. Underscore, it can be a verb, it can be a noun. Underscore in this context, emphasize. What is the answer? I is the answer. Diligent, obviously, adjective. Means what? Industrious. F is the answer. Counterproductive. Counterproductive measures means what? Adjective. And I have written the word boomerang. I wanted you guys to learn. Then incongruous situation, incongruous uh, decision, again adjective. And what does it mean? Not in harmony, an important word. A is the answer. Promptly, adverb. Immediately, that is also an adverb. Indiscriminate killing, indiscriminate attack, adjective, obviously. Without careful judgment, answer is D. Surge, sudden increase, we have got sudden forward movement, sudden increase. We have got surge can be a verb, surge can be a noun. B is the answer. Adherence, noun. Adhere, a verb, means stick to, attachment to. Answer is G. Oh, very good. We could complete. And yesterday also I told I'm starting all these courses, English basics course for SSC, CHSL, CGL, and for bank exams also, same syllabus more or less, only vocabulary changes. 200 rules useful for any competitive exam, descriptive English on 15th, and these two on 8th. Word power made easy, prepositional combinations course, and do use Murthy 10. And my profile, if you go to Unacademy, Venkata Korlapati, that is my profile. Then referral code is Murthy 10. And today's schedule also 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Unacademy platform. Today it is going to be 200 rules. I could not change the slide. 200 rules, the first session. Evening 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. SSC YouTube channel Unacademy. Tier 2 analysis previous year's questions. That's it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Again, I would like to all the best those who are going to take. And do remember, don't panic and try to choose easy questions first, then a little difficult, and at the fag end of the session, very difficult questions, provided you get time. And don't leave the passage. Passage, if you read and you have to read, you can get minimum 5 marks, between 5 and 7. That makes all the difference. My suggestion to those who are going to take the exam, please don't ignore the passage. Do read the passage. That is very important. It makes a lot of difference. Have a nice weekend. I will see you guys on Monday.